And welcome finally back, Wargaming enthusiasts, to the last turn of the game, where we just conduct a basic operation here and there. There's actually some infantry left there. Let's see what they are. I think that these are those tankers, but they're not actually in the target zone, so I don't know whether they count or not. Um, Hopefully they'll take care of them. Nope. Oh my. We've actually sustained a casualty there. That's unfortunate. Last minutes of combat. Well, let's take a closer look to what's been going on here. The ISUs are firing. Our infantry is moving up behind them. They're firing as well. The enemy is firing back. Hopefully we won't stand for it. And the ISU in the back is trying to fire at this infantry here, I imagine, but misses terribly. Well, it's a shame. Yeah. Well, we've touched the other objective. If we had a couple more turns, we would definitely take it now that we have no armored opposition, due to very lucky circumstances on our part. The enemy is firing at us. We're firing back. Nothing comes of it. And it's the end of the turn. Alright, well, let's see the end screen then. Well, I've got the ground... Well, what does that even mean? I got the Southwest Road Junction, and I didn't get the Northwest Road Junction, so alright, that's a failed objective. But they failed that as well because they're not keeping either, apparently. They have given us 80 points of casualties, which mostly is infantry of various kinds, and one truck. And we've given the enemy about 400 points of casualties, so we get a major victory. Fair enough. We've lost 40 men, most of whom we killed ourselves, I think. Well, not most of them, but about and 30 wounded, so 70 men casualties and one vehicle, which is a truck from our own aircraft. A lot of our casualties are our own casualties. So what's been going on in this battle is basically my advance was hampered by the inability to predict where the enemy is going to be, and the inability to figure out that this terrain is actually safe to cross. So I didn't have to, put down smoke, do things like that. Although hopefully that did put a hamper on some of the enemy. Oh, that's okay. That was a scout. A scout took out my entire platoon. Not platoon, my entire squad here. Alright, if I knew that was just 3 guys, I'd have taken them out, I think. What's left is about a platoon and a half of infantry, I think, with various degrees of casualties. All are a little bit worn down, definitely. So a couple more turns I would have taken it, but it's a major victory. I accept that. So there's some guys here. That's the tank crew that we saw retreating there, and this is the Marder crew. Okay. All right. So our guys have sustained quite a lot of casualties in this last part of fighting in the woods here, which mostly happened because I did rush that last bit to the edge of the wood. I didn't predict that the enemy is going to be hiding on the what's that? Let's see the compass here. So he was hiding on the eastern side. Eastern, is it? No, the southern side of the woods, which is here. I thought he would be placed more sort of central or on the edge of the wood. So I approached the wood very carefully from this position, and there were some units here, so we took them out. We even put down some mortar fire that hindered us more than it helped us. And then I thought, well, he's not going to have anything here. He's going to put stuff somewhere here and those woods here. But again, there's this railway line. It's on a hill again, and again, this blocks line of sight significantly. So he couldn't have put stuff in those woods here without letting me into into the target zone, and yeah, so he put them there, and I really thought we we had this wood cleared out by the point we were in the middle, so I rushed them here, and yeah, casualties mounted. You can see there's a lot of dead bodies in those woods. um, all right, I think we did all right against these nests. So he made these two strong positions where he had a bunch of anti-infantry as well as anti-tank assets, and they were kind of a hard thing for us to crack until we either got rid of the armored asset, anti-tank asset, or we got rid of the anti-infantry asset, and it was generally safer to get rid of the anti-tank asset and move from there. So the same thing was here, happened here, and he moved that marder over here after we took care of the one on the other side. So once he took out that marder from here and put it here, this became a very simple position to storm. We just put an ISU on the road and gave it some firing orders, and it took out that bunker rather easily. Those uh, those guns are bunker busters. They are definitely just the job. Um, right, and this was a much more difficult position to storm because of the woods here, and he had all sorts of infantry, as we can see, still escaping from those foxholes. So it was lucky that we chose this position to advance through. He was concentrating on this one apparently, or maybe he even moved stuff over when we did our diversion. I don't know. I'll have to ask. I'd be very happy if that is true. Oh, that's that machine gun. We didn't hit it even once. I thought we did. Okay. Well, that machine gun could have been kind of scary if it hit anything over there, like our advancing trucks, stuff like that. But luckily, we didn't have to test that because our airplane took care of that. Yeah, our crappy mortars were extremely annoying. Well, these two and that one. They did a terrible job. They sustained they gave us some casualties that we didn't necessarily need and hampered our advance. These guys, though, did a great job firing into here. I'd love to have seen what was here. Maybe there was more infantry here that we just took care by our mortar, but I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. Yep. Anyways, so yeah, my advance was too slow through this initial part, and then it was slightly too um, slapdash at the end here, and luckily we pulled it out of the fire and managed to just take care of this entire zone. Um, we managed to take care of the armored assets with a lot of luck, admittedly, but we did have backup plans in case one of our tanks did get destroyed. So we should have been able to finish them off, even if they had spotted us. I think that would have been quite possible. As it was, well, they didn't spot us, and we did destroy them. Mirek will figure that out with the forum, whether that was fair or not, or a bug or not. But he told me he was putting them on hide as well, which might hamper their ability to spot things. It says in the manual that once a hiding unit spots something, it unhides and then can engage, but it doesn't actually say whether a hiding unit can spot as effectively as a normal unit, well, as an unhiding unit. I know for a fact that hiding infantry doesn't see shit. They can see 2 meters in front of them, so I don't know whether that's true for the tanks as well. I don't see why it should be true for the tanks, but it might just be how the game is coded, and that might or might not be a bug. He's hiding his tanks mostly to reduce the sound footprint, so we don't actually have sound contacts on them. But who needs sound contacts when you've got snipers, right? So our snipers are among the most valuable parts of the unit, and not many of them survived because of that. Um, they don't necessarily kill a lot of people, but they spot everyone, and then we use our infantry to take care of the rest. Yeah, our machine guns weren't there very effective just because we were always constantly on the move, so they couldn't move up in support. And our infantry, we can see, was also not very effective just in killing enemies. You see some enemy casualties here and there, but nothing significant. Two casualties, one casualty, none. Two casualties, two casualties. These guys, though, yeah, this one um, was that. That's Sergeant Shalavin and his platoon. He took out 11 enemy infantry, one panther, and one bunker. So that's the brunt of our force. This guy here, this is our Sergeant Bliznyakov, who took out the other panther and also the armored car, and also 15 of the enemy's infantry. This guy here, Dolgopolsky, Sergeant, and his team took out 11 casualties and one Marder tank, which is a significant amount of troops. Oh, that's nice and even. Everyone got one AFV of the enemy. This guy took out 19 of the enemy infantry and took out one Marder tank destroyer. This is Sergeant Popov, who did the stupid thing of emerging from the woods where he shouldn't have. So that's all of our ISUs, are they? Oh no, we've got one more. This gentleman here took out a bunker and 4 men. He was the guy who did mostly nothing, and still he surpasses most of our infantry sustaining and then casualties. What's the word? It's not sustain. It's not given either. I'm using given. Well, he killed more people than any of our infantry squads, even though he was our least active ISU. Let's take a look at our mortars. I wonder if they have casualties. Yep, they killed a guy. These guys killed no one, and these guys killed no one, and that's fine. These guys actually did. Oh, that mortar actually killed 4 people, 4 enemy casualties, as opposed to killing our own people, which is not marked, and that's a shame. I would have been very interested to see how many people get killed by. I mean, how many people got killed by a particular unit of our own. Yeah. So we see this AFV crew, this infantry, well, commander and his wounded gunner took out 3 of my infantry. This guy took out 3 of my infantry as well. This guy took 2, this guy took none. Okay. So yeah. So in the defensive battle, I imagine the troops that did take out my units were mostly killed off. And this guy killed 9. He should get some sort of medal. What is that? Oh, I don't know German ranks. I'm going to assume it's like a Gefreiter Machen, and his 2 guys there in the scout team took out 9 of my infantry, just straight up shot them dead. Amazing. Yep. We've got some enemy platoons here and there. If we turn off the trees even more, we can maybe figure out where the enemies were. Oh, that's my team. Enemy teams. Enemy casualties. Can't find them. Here's one. But it doesn't say their casualties or they didn't they didn't kill any of us. So I don't know. Yeah, so it was a bit of a mess once we got here, and I regret that. But the rest of the operation worked out well enough. I think we took this southwest road junction. I was not sure we would do even that. If we would have taken both of them, that would have been a major success. But you know, Mirek is not the kind of guy who is defeated easily, and yeah, that was certainly not an easy victory. It was certainly very lucky. I think we both did some mistakes, although his mistakes were mostly in moving troops around where I could see them, and I took opportunistic shots at them here and there, and they usually worked out. I think I did well in scouting ahead most of the time. Well, scouting ahead is good, and I did it most of the time. and that allowed me to see enemy positions and then plan an attack against each of them individually. So no mad rushes like I did in the last probe, which ended in 3 minutes. This one was long, drawn out, and I gotta say, really frustrating to do because of all the fiddling around, like you saw. Well, I assume you saw, but you might have skipped it, and I think I would have as well. Where it takes me a lot of time to figure out each individual turn, micromanage all my troops, move up a little tiny bit, and then nothing happens. And then I have to move up another bit, another part of the forest, say, and again I have to micromanage. And when I cut corners, people die, right? So cutting corners is not a great thing to do in this situation. Anyway, there we go. That's our entire battle, I think. I'm generally happy with the result, like I said. Um, I think my opponent did well. I think there were some things he could have done better, but there are also some things I could have done better. I probably would have tried figuring out some better lanes of fire. Then again, unbeknownst to him, I imagine, just giving me this long road to pass really disorganized me and really frustrated me. So it's not a bad tactic to use against me in particular, just to have me move around a lot and have to do all this complicated stuff. Um, yeah, but yeah, he comported himself well, I think, and the only sort of thing that stands out to me is that whenever he organized ambushes against my units, he did it like this. In that, whenever I encountered his ambush, I would have, if we turn the camera around, I would have faced a situation where I am not in the open and he is. I'm lost now. Hello? Sorry. I completely lost my camera. So like the situation here, I think. There we go. I found myself. So we're a tank, right? So we're approaching here. We're going on the ground, and then we see this. But what the enemy sees is us hold down, right? So why not put him somewhere else? Why not put him in behind that little hillock over here or something, where not only can he not only does he not see me, well, sorry, not only does he have the ability to be held down as well and fire from there, he also has an ability to retreat. I mean, if something went wrong, like if I don't know, if his team if he got hit, it wasn't a penetrating hit, and his crew panicked, he would have nowhere to go. Whereas if he put them here, can we see that? Yeah, if he put them here, he still would have seen them there. Oh, we're here now. He still would have seen them there. He would have spotted us first, probably. We might have been hull down as well. We might not have been. But he would have been hull down here too. And he could have just, if he got spotted or if he didn't want to engage or something, he sees like 3 ISUs and all of them miss, he can just go, goodbye, and no problem, and then he can redeploy something like that. So I think that's a major mistake he kept on making, because he made it here, he made it here, he also made it here, where he was, no, I guess not. He was in the martyr was in the trees, right? So that was a good position, but I think that's a mistake he kept consistently making. And let's take a look at the other Panther and try to diagnose that, because why the hell not? I mean, I'm already talking out of my ass. I might continue doing it without... Yeah. That was a fluke, though, because the way we shot him was through here, through these woods, and through these woods here. So I really didn't expect... Yeah. I don't see how that happened. I don't see how he could have been spotted from here. But he was. I was banking on the fact that if I put my ISU over here, I'm just going to see that nest over there. This one here, well, somewhere here, yeah. And I'm just going to shoot at it. And I was thinking, I'm all clever. I'm going to stand here and shoot at this machine gun nest, and this panther will not see me. And then I move out, and not only does the panther apparently, well, I don't know if he saw me or not, but I see him, and take 2 shots, and he's dead. That was weird. That this was a good position, I guess. But then again, when he was placing him, he could have figured out what the panther can see or not, and you know. I don't know. What did he want to point the panther at this position here, just in case I do something like that? Just place an ISU or whatever armored unit here, so that he can be fired on. That's a pretty good position actually. So yeah, I'm surprised the panther didn't take me out, and I'm surprised as hell that I could shoot at the panther from there. Yeah, that's it. So that's what I would have done differently. I would have placed those ambushes quite differently. Myself, well, I've already told you what I think I did wrong. And anyway, you've been hearing it all the way. Inflicting, that's the word. I inflicted casualties on myself through mortar fire. And I guess now I know where the term danger close comes from. Because that was definitely danger close, where I told them to fire and they missed. And yeah, that went all over my infantry. Um, I could have been more careful with plotting the crew's paths through the woods because they were doing strange stuff like Mr. What's his name? Mr. Popov, and just instead of traversing through the woods, just deciding to go around and right into the enemy. I could have been more sparing with smoke, but that was mostly because I thought those ammunition trucks held smoke ammunition. As it were, they did not, and hence they were not useful at all to my endeavor, really, because they honestly, I don't think they actually did anything to anyone. But they did resupply someone, I think. If they could resupply mortars or something like that, which, then again, these mortars had suspiciously high amounts of ammunition for a while, but I don't know if that's just my perception or if the truck actually helped resupply them. If it did, then well done me, because I think that gave us an additional barrage here somewhere. But yeah, but I don't think the ammunition trucks were particularly useful. All right. Yeah, this assault wasn't the most coordinated thing ever. I like the way we managed to do sort of a mini hammer and anvil where we had a baseline of infantry who were admittedly pinned, standing there, and we swept from the left to the right alongside the enemy's flank. So we just swept them up neatly and sustained only well. We sustained casualties definitely, but they were the sort of casualties that were manageable. So that was cool. Yeah, I think Mirek did a great job placing his infantry here where I didn't expect them at all. If I were him, I would have probably, if I were he, I guess, I'd have probably done these positions differently a little bit, although I like the way that he made a machine gun nest plus an anti-tank asset so that I had a difficult time just charging in or something like that. If he had just the Marder here, I might have been tempted to do something with infantry, like set up a base of fire and just pepper him with bullets until he gave in. Well, until his morale broke. Um, yeah, that is pretty much it. I think I've talked enough, and I'm really sorry if you're watching this and if you're thinking, man, that guy talks a lot. I've been accused of loving the sound of my voice a little too much. Yes, in the past it's been said, and it and I do have a tendency to ramble on, which I'm trying to eliminate a little bit. Um, So maybe next time I'll be a little bit more concise and I'll do my thinking off screen, because this battle I was definitely thinking about my turns right there with you, right there on the spot. So you saw all of my decisions, you know, and all of my changing my mind and stuff like that as it happened. Although I didn't necessarily always explain it, because I was busy making the damn orders. All right, jeez. Okay. Anyway, that said, see you guys with the next battle. Bye.